Corinne Bailey Rae is a British singer-songwriter and guitarist from Leeds, West Yorkshire. Bailey Rae was named the #1 predicted breakthrough act of 2006 in an annual BBC poll of music critics, Sound of 2006. She released her debut album, Corinne Bailey Rae, in February 2006, and became the fourth female British act in history to have her first album debut at #1. In 2007, Bailey Rae was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards and 3 Brit Awards, and won 2 MOBO Awards. In 2008, she won a Grammy Award for Album of the Year. Bailey Rae released her second album, The Sea, on January 26, 2010, after a hiatus of almost 3 years. It was produced by Steve Brown and Steve Chrisanthou. She was nominated for the 2010 Mercury Prize for Album of the Year. In 2012, she won a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance. Bailey Rae was married to fellow musician Jason Rae from 2001 until his death in 2008, and as part of the grieving process, she channeled her emotions into her music. Her 2 albums have together sold over 5 million copies worldwide. Early life: Bailey Rae was born in Leeds, West Yorkshire, England, to a Caucasian father and an English mother, as the oldest of 3 daughters, including her siblings, Candice Bailey and actress Rhea Bailey. Bailey Rae began her musical career at school, where she studied classical violin before she turned her attention to singing. "I started off singing in church, I suppose, but people think it must have been a gospel church because of the whole, black assumption," she said in reference to her multiracial background. "But it wasn't gospel at all, it was just your regular Brethren church, very middle class, where we would sing these harmonies every Sunday. It was always my favorite part of the service, the singing." Bailey Rae later transferred to a Baptist church, where the youth leader coached rock bands in the local high school. The church's young people wrote their own worship songs and sang covers of songs by Primal Scream. "We changed the words though," Bailey Rae states on her website. "We didn't want to offend the regular churchgoers." She recorded 2 albums with the youth group under the name of Revive. Performing in church broadened Bailey Rae's musical horizons, and her love for making music was solidified after the church youth leader offered to lend her the money for her first guitar. In her mid-teens, she was highly influenced by Lenny Kravitz, also discovering rock legends Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin. "I loved that band during my teens. I wanted, somehow, to follow in their footsteps, and to create music of my own." Personal life: Bailey Rae studied English literature at the University of Leeds, where she graduated in 2000. While at university, she began work as a hat-check girl on an evening in her local jazz club. Corinne Bailey met Scottish-born Jason Rae in a jazz club in Leeds, where she had a part-time job as a cloakroom attendant. She married him in 2001, at the age of 22, and changed her name to Bailey Rae. Jason Rae, a musician, played saxophone for the 8-piece group called Haggis Horns, and had recorded on albums with Amy Winehouse, Bailey Rae, The New Master Sounds and Martina Topley Bird. On March 22, 2008, Jason Rae was found dead in a flat in the Hyde Park area of Leeds. In December 2008, Leeds Coroner's Court gave a verdict of death by misadventure, and stated that Rae had died of an accidental overdose of methadone and alcohol. Music career: 1998 to 2003, beginnings: Bailey Rae formed an indie group called Helen, which was inspired by similar acts such as Veruca Salt and L7. "It was the first time I'd seen women with guitars. They were kinda sexy but feminist. I wanted to be like that, at the front of something." The group raised eyebrows on several fronts. In the white male-dominated world of indie music, they were a mainly female group, fronted by a mixed-race singer from Leeds. The group played many gigs around Leeds and, whilst unable to attract offers from any UK labels, were eventually approached by US-based heavy metal record label Roadrunner Records, home to acts such as Slipknot, in 1998. This deal disappeared before it was even signed, however, after the bassist became pregnant and the group disbanded. "Was I disappointed? I was gutted. I had no idea what to do next." In the 3 years after she got married, Bailey Rae began working on solo material this time steering away from her indie past and embarking on a more soulful path. She collaborated with Leeds-based funk group The New Master Sounds on the track Your Love Is Mine, featured on their 2003 album Be Yourself, released via One Note Records. The following year she again worked with another Leeds-based group, Hancock Directive, on the song Come the Revolution, which was the first single from the group's debut album. 2004 to 2008, debut album and hiatus. In 2004, Bailey Rae got a breakthrough when she was signed by Global Talent Publishing and then approached by Craig David's mentor Mark Hill, from the duo The Artful Dodger, to appear on his new album Better Luck Next Time under his new alias, the STIX. The resulting collaboration, Young and Foolish, was released in April 2005 and brought Bailey Rae to the attention of the major record label bosses. Bailey Rae released her debut single, Like a Star, in November 2005 and her first album, Corinne Bailey Rae, in February 2006. It debuted at number 1 in the UK and entered the top 10 of the US Billboard 200, peaking at number 4 and spending 71 weeks in the chart from 2006 to 2008. According to Nielsen SoundScan, the album sold 1.9 million copies in the United States alone. The lead single, Like a Star, became a hit in the UK and US, and sold over 327,000 US downloads. Follow-up single Put Your Records On, her biggest hit to date, rose to number 2 in the UK, and sold over 945,000 US downloads. Trouble Sleeping made the top 40, and I'd Like To, the top 70. In the middle of 2006, Bailey Rae embarked on her first international tour through Europe and North America with R&B singer John Legend, playing 55 shows including the festivals Rock in Rio, Lisbon 2 and Live Earth. In early April 2006, Corinne Bailey Rae was certified 2x Platinum by the BPI and Platinum by the RIAA in December. In September 2006, Bailey Rae scooped 2 awards at the UK's MOBO Awards, Best UK Newcomer, and Best UK Female. Bailey Rae recorded a live session at Abbey Road Studios in July 2006 for Live from Abbey Road. Bailey Rae was the musical guest in a 2006 episode of Saturday Night Live with the host being Jaime Pressly. She performed Put Your Records On, and Like a Star. She also appeared on Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip on the episode B12, which aired in November 2006, with Howie Mandel. She performed Like a Star, and Trouble Sleeping. Also in 2006, Bailey Rae performed on BBC Radio 1 Live Lounge with the songs Like a Star, a cover version of Editor's Munich, and a cover version of Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back. Bailey Rae also received 3 nominations at the 2007 Grammy Awards, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. During the ceremony, she performed Like a Star, and joined John Legend and John Mayer in a collaborative performance, providing accompanying vocals to Legend's Coming Home, and Mayer's Gravity. Also in 2007, Bailey Rae accepted an invitation to participate Goin' Home, a tribute to Fats Domino, where she contributed her version of Domino's One Night. She also recorded John Lennon's I'm Losing You for Make Some Noise, Amnesty International's music venture. The song was also released on the 2007 John Lennon tribute album, Instant Karma, the Amnesty International campaign to save Darfur. In July of that year, Bailey Rae performed at the UK leg of Live Earth at Wembley Stadium, London. In 2008, Like a Star was nominated for a Grammy for Song of the Year. Bailey Rae won in 2 categories for Album of the Year and Best Contemporary Jazz Album for her collaboration on River, the Joni Letters. Also in 2008, she recorded a live session of River with Hancock at Abbey Road Studios in For Live from Abbey Road for Channel 4, which was broadcast on Series 2. During the American and European tour, Bailey Rae recorded her first DVD with the title Live in London and New York. The DVD was filmed in London and the bonus CD was recorded in New York, 2009-2011, The Sea and the Love EP. Corinne Bailey Rae released her new album titled The Sea on January 26, 2010, 4 years after the release of her first album and almost 2 years following the death of her husband Jason Rae. The lead single "I'd Do It All Again" premiered on November 25 in 2009 on Later, with Jools Holland. The follow-up single "Closer" was added to Smooth Jazz Radio on January 25, Urban AC on February 1 and AC Radio in late February. The album's second single "Paris Nights and New York Mornings" went to AAA Radio on February 15. Around the release of the second album, Corinne did a run of promotional shows in the UK, Europe and US. She embarked on her second world tour, the Sea Tour, with 82 concerts, and had a gross profit of $19 million. The tour visited UK, Europe, US, Brazil, Argentina, Japan, Korea, Singapore and Middle East. The tour began on February 27, 2010 in London and her last show was on March 10, 2011 in Korea. Her summer concert in London at Somerset House sold out, and she returned to London again in October to perform in Royal Festival Hall with Pete Lowry as a supporting act. In December 2009, Bailey Rae recorded a live performance in New York City that was broadcast in the summer of 2010 on the U.S. television program Live from the Artist's Den. On June 2, 2010, Bailey Rae appeared with Herbie Hancock, singing Blackbird in a concert honoring Paul McCartney in the East Room of the White House. On January 25, 2011, Bailey released an EP, the Love EP, with 5 recordings of love songs, including Prince's I Wanna Be Your Lover, Bob Marley's Is This Love, and Paul McCartney and Wings My Love. The EP debuted at number 86 on the Billboard 200 and still managed the top 20 in top R&B hip-hop albums. The EP has sold 15,000 copies in the US. The first single, Is This Love, won Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance at 54th Grammy Awards. Bailey Rae made an appearance as a musical guest on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno on October 28, 2010, covering the Bob Marley's song Is This Love. On July 14, 2011, she was awarded an honorary doctorate by the University of Leeds where she had studied as an undergraduate. During an interview for the 2011 Mercury Awards, Corinne revealed she is writing a follow-up album to her critically acclaimed The Sea. She has uploaded many photos of herself in various studios recording music for the new album to her social media accounts. In 2013, Bailey Rae was moved from Capitol Records to Virgin Records due to corporate restructuring as a result of their parent company being purchased by Universal Music Group in 2012. Other ventures, like a star as part of the soundtracks of several films, series and soap operas, such as Kashmir Mafia, 27 Dresses, Men in Trees, Nancy Drew, Perfect Stranger, Medium, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, Venus, Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds and Seat Pecados. Putty Records on appears in the 6th episode of the series By Any Means. In the film Venus, 6 songs from the debut album were included on the soundtrack of the film, which are I'd Like To, Another Rainy Day, Chew Pastry Heart, Put Your Records On, Like a Star, Breathless. The song I'd Like To, from Bailey Rae's debut album, was also featured in the soundtrack for the movie He's Just Not That Into You. It can also be heard on an episode of CSI, NY. Bailey Rae is the special ambassador for the charity CORD. She is also the central ambassador for the international water and sanitation charity Pump Aid. In September 2012, she was featured in a campaign called 30 Songs/30 Days to support Half the Sky, Turning Oppression into Opportunity for Women Worldwide, a multi-platform media project inspired by Nicholas Kristof and Cheryl Wudami unregistered trademark S-Book. Discography. Studio albums, 2006, Corinne Bailey Rae, 2010, The Sea, EPs, 2011, The Love EP, DVDs, 2007, Live in London and New York, Concert Tours, 2006/2007, World Tour, 2010/2011, The Sea Tour, Filmography, Awards and Nominations, Grammy Awards. The Grammy Awards are awarded annually by the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. Bailey Rae has won 2 awards from 6 nominations. She won Album of the Year as a featured artist on Herbie Hancock's River, the Joni Letters. Others awards and nominations, references. External links, main reference sites. Corinne Bailey Rae Official website, Corinne Bailey Rae at AllMusic, Corinne Bailey Rae at the Internet Movie Database, Corinne Bailey Rae discography at Discogs, Corinne Bailey Rae discography at Music Beans, works by or about Corinne Bailey Rae in libraries, interviews and others, Corinne Bailey Rae interview by Pete Lewis, Blues and Soul February 2010, musicomh.com interview, The Guardian interview 2005, The Guardian interview 2009, hiphop-rnb-soul.com audio interview, owl.co.uk videos from AOL sessions, live performances, official releases and interviews. Thoughtsdesk.com interview 2010.